Time, a man's best friend. It's an unstoppable march, marching onwards. How will you use this time? I'll let you decide. Show me the malt, and I'll show you the man. When I hit 2,000 subscribers on this channel, I celebrated with a glass of the Macallan 12-year-old, and I said at the time, if I made it to 10,000 subscribers, maybe I'd celebrate with an 18-year-old. We just hit 10,000 subscribers, so here we go. So sincerely, thank you so much if you're one of the first 10,000 subscribers. I really appreciate your support. Cheers. So I decided to give myself a challenge that started this morning to make a spec ad for the Macallan in one day. This is what happened. It's just gone 9:40, so I really need to get this underway. I'm just starting off by looking at the Macallan site on YouTube and also just doing some research about kind of ads that made Macallan, just to really get an idea of brand or just get the creative juices flowing. Funny thing is, when I search for the Macallan spec ad, there doesn't seem to be like many hits on YouTube. There's a couple, and one's like all dramatic and filmed at a beach and everything like that. Don't really have time to do that today. It also brings up that weird point when you're trying to do something creative. Is it actually good to look at other people's work or not? I've also got very limited props. I've got a bit of kind of board down here and some of this kind of packing material that the actual bottle of the Macallan came in. So I thought I'd change tack a little bit and just think about maybe the target demographic that this spec ad would be going out to. So I just came up with, it's a bit random really, male target demographic aged 30 to 50. And I also came up with, it's kind of, I suppose, a high level concept or tagline or whatever you want to call it. It's show me the malt, and I'll show you the man. It's going to be the thing that hopefully people will remember, and the whole ad's going to be focused around that concept. As for the visuals, I really don't have any idea yet. I have to say, I'm surprisingly nervous about trying this. This is the first ever ad I've tried to make for anything, really. Yeah, it's weird to feel stuck creatively already when I've not even started, and I think that's just that kind of self-doubt that any kind of artistic thing that's not in your comfort zone can produce, but it's not always a bad thing. It pushes you to think more creatively, I suppose. Thought maybe it'd be a good idea just to actually get the bottle out, touch the product, and I don't know, kind of get some sensory feedback going if that's going to help creativity. Don't know if there's any science behind that, doing it anyway. So that's the bottle, and that's obviously going to be the hero for the ad. Just got to work out how we can weave that concept into it and also get the visuals. Thinking it might be a bit cheesy, that's what only thing I'm worried about, is if I get this little aperture MC, kind of put that inside the box and then have that lid opening maybe with that light shining out. Again, it's a bit cheesy, and I don't think it's really on brand with the Macallan, but it shouldn't discount anything. I'm just brainstorming at the minute just to try and get some ideas. Another random idea I had to use this aperture MC is maybe if I kind of uplight the bottle, obviously this won't be in the shot, whether I take that out with VFX or masking or something, or just shoot it kind of from higher up maybe. Where's Daniel Schiffer when you need him? It's 10 o'clock and I've kind of actually don't have any ideas yet. I'm not sure if time limits are good for creativity or not. I suppose deadlines are for productivity, but not sure for creativity. Procrastination can really deaden creativity, so I'm just going to start getting stuff down on paper. I'm just going to try and come up with a shot list here, and this first shot is, if you have a look at the top of this lid here, you've got this nice kind of logo established 1824. So for the first shot, I'm thinking maybe we have the lid open and the kind of reflection of the light just kind of going across that. And I think for this the whole style for this video, it's not going to be fast-paced edits. It's going to be slow, because this is an 18-year-old bottle that's going to be in this ad. It's going to be slow and steady and unrushed, and I think that's going to kind of tie in with the whole thing of an 18-year-old whiskey not being something you can create overnight. It takes time and patience, and I think I'm going to lean in to that slowness of time, if that makes sense. Second shot idea is for the box to be just visible at the bottom and then this bottle being pulled out. I'm going to reveal the 18-year-old part of the bottle, but I'm not actually going to reveal the main label where it says the Macallan on it. I'm still struggling really with where this is going. So I think I want to just do the storyboard panel for maybe the hero shot or the final shot where I'm going to have that voiceover, show me the malt and I'll show you the man, just so I can know what I'm working towards. Well, it's almost 10:30 and I've still not actually recorded any of the video. I don't know how much prep is a good thing and how much prep is just procrastination. Anyway, what I've done is written two versions of the same script that I'm going to use as the voiceover, and I'm going to use more or less the same thing, and I'm going to use this to help me with the shot list and help me film. And I've also done a couple of shots here and the shot list. This is going to be the final or the hero shot, and all it's going to be is a slow, steady dolly in to the entire bottle. And this is the first time in the ad that we're actually going to see the whole bottle. And this is the penultimate shot. What we're doing here is we're going to try some tube lights, and I'm going to try and move the tube lights while the bottle's staying still and create some nice lines of light through the liquid in the bottle. And this is where we're going to have the line, show me the malt, and then it's going to go into this final shot, and I'll show you the man. Well, quite honestly, I just want to get into it now. So I've decided I was going to think about that kind of dark and moody vibe and all that, but what I want to do is I really just want to showcase the product itself. And also, I don't have that many props like a professional, advertising agency or production company would use. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab this white roll of backing paper. I'm going to put it all the way down to the floor and then all the way out here. And I'm just going to shoot on a white floor and a white background. I'm going to be filming this on the A7S Mark III, fully charged battery. And we're going to be filming in S-Log 3, so I can colour grade it afterwards. And we're going to be filming at floor level, which is a bit less comfortable, but a bit quicker. Probably going to be filming this at ISO 12800, which is the second base ISO. I'll switch to the Sigma 24-70. So ideally what I'd do is I'd move these lights all the way around here. But because I've got limited time, as I'm doing this as a one-day challenge, I'm not going to do that. Instead, I'm going to make use of these aperture tube lights and possibly another light that I've got down there. Good thing about having a shot list is it keeps you focused. So first shot is going to be this opening of the lid. So here's the setup for the first shot. Don't need to really worry about those shadows because I'm shooting into that lit area, so you won't see those shadows on the camera. And as a bit of a happy accident, I've just realised that if I lift up the box from the edge here, I should be able to remove my finger in the edit. So it will look like the box is opening on its own. This shot's going to be on the first line of the voiceover where it goes, time, a man's best friend. So recording, 24 frames a second. Not 100% perfect, but it's already 11:15 and this is just the first shot. So I think it's going to have to be good enough for now. It can move on to shot 2. All right, shot 2, recording. It was trickier than I thought it would be because the box kept moving every time I was pulling it out. I'm going to shoot the penultimate shot and also the final shot, and then I'm going to fill in, I'm going to work backwards and fill in some detail shots of things like the bottle, and then I know I've got the start and I've got the end, and then I can kind of converge in the middle, if that makes sense. I don't know if it does. And then the other reason I'm doing it this way is because I want to finish doing all of the shots with this setup using this lens, because I might break out the probe lens to get some really close detail shots. Unfortunately, my camera's saying it doesn't have the card inserted when it actually does. So that's fun. And when you're on a time limit, this is not exactly what you want. So I could just go throw another card in, which would be quicker. But I have had this problem before. And if I'm putting it into the computer here, the files are all showing up fine. Just that the Sony A7S III is not reading them. And what I've done in the past to fix this is all I've done is I've formatted it in the PC, put it back in, and then it reformatted it in the Sony, and it always seems to work. So I'm going to do that now. So I've just done a quick format. Let's put it back in the camera and see if that's fixed it. And it's still not showing up. So I'm going to try a full format now and see if that fixes it. Oh dear, so after a full format and also trying slot 2, not even reading this card, which is really annoying. So finally got the card to work again. I had to put it in my A7R4 and then it prepared the image database file. Then I put it back in the A7S III and it still didn't work. So I took the battery out and then put the battery back in and then put the card in and then turn it on, and now it's working. Anyway, I'm going to get back to shooting. Time is running out. Feel like I'm in a rush now, more than I was before. Right, this is going to be the penultimate shot. And this is the shot where we want the light moving over the bottle. So hit record. Then it's just a case of making some nice shapes with this light. Got to be careful I don't wash out that front label though. It's a nice pop of colour. Show me the malt. Right, now it's time for that hero shot. And if you look at this shot list, this is going to be a slow dolly in with the bottle and maybe a glass, I'm not sure yet, and space for a drink responsibly thing. So to do this, what I'm going to use is make use of the Edelkrone slider here to do that nice slow dolly. So I'm just getting things set up. Got to go and use the Edelkrone app now just to program the movement and get the dolly shot looking how I want it to look. You can select key poses here. So if I just move this, you can see that the slider's moving there. So I can just worry about focus in a minute. And I want to do, what did I say, dolly in? Probably going to do a dolly in because that will bring people into the shot. So I'm going to move the slider backwards, check on the screen, and then just going to hold down this button, and that sets a keyframe. And then I can move the slider forwards, hold down this second keyframe, and then I can choose the slide speed and ease in and out, and then do a recording and do a variation of that, probably about half the speed, just so if I want to just use that end bit with the ease out, I can. So that's going to be the final hero shot. Now I can just kind of work and fill in those gaps in the middle. And to do that, I'm going to break out the probe lens. This is the new setup, and we're going to have very small movements on the slider just to reveal some of the details of this bottle. I'm going to start with the bottle top itself. The challenge with using a probe lens is you've got usually quite shallow depth of field and you need a lot of extra light. So I'm shooting at 12,800 ISO on the A7S III, which is its second base ISO, so that's giving us a lot more sensitivity with the least amount of noise at that higher ISO. And the first shot I'm trying to tee up is this shot of moving past the top of that bottle, which I think is going to look really nice. Recording, action. I think this might be a little bit too slow, but I'll let it play out anyway. 12:30, and we've only got a few shots still. It's not looking good. Onwards. Alrighty, it's 4 minutes past 2. The lighting looks terrible. I think I've just got the final shot. Got to get everything into DaVinci Resolve now and get it edited before the end of the day. First thing I'm doing is finding some music. By the way, I've been using Epidemic Sound for over 5 years now. If you want a free trial, check out the first link in the video description. Perfect. So I'm going to download that. I'm downloading it in WAV format to get the best possible quality. So bring that music into the timeline here. It's an unstoppable march. This voiceover is going to set the length of the entire ad. So now we want to find part of the music that we think will fit that. All right, what's the time? 3:30 in the afternoon. Got the rough cut done. I'm 80% happy with it. Still got to do the color grading. I've still got to do the sound mixing. I've still got to render it. So time is really running out now. So I better get back to Resolve. All right, so this is the rough cut. How will you use it? So I'm pretty happy with this actually. I'm surprised that it's come together so well. I thought I might be short a few shots. The next thing I need to do is get this color graded and then mix the audio together. Oh man, I could spend so long trying to color grade this. It's 80% there, but then I can do another 20%, which will take me 80% of the time. Got to move on to the sound mixing now because I've only got maybe an hour and a half before I have to finish up. Just about to do my first test render. Hopefully it's not going to look too crazy. So I just tweaked a couple of those cuts, just nudged them left and right by 1 or 2 frames just to get the cuts feeling a bit sharper, and dare I say it, it's 4:20 in the afternoon. I think I'm going to call that a finished ad. Time. A man's best friend. It's an unstoppable march, marching onwards. How will you use this time? I'll let you decide. Show me the malt, and I'll show you the man. YouTube thinks you'll like this video next. Once again, thanks for being a subscriber, and I'll see you at 100,000. Cheers.